Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. Thanks very much for tuning in. This is the Mortgage Minute, and we try to put this show on 4 or 5 times a week on LinkedIn and Facebook. We have a radio show that we also do. We're on 5 stations in 3 different states, and that airs on Saturday and Sunday. If you'd like to see this or any other of the shows that we do, radio or otherwise, you can go to YouTube, Jeff Barton, the Mortgage Voice. That's my YouTube channel. Love for you to go there. Click on that you like it so that other people can see it. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. This information is available in a lot of different places, but we try to put it together in a simple format so that you can take what you hear and use what you hear. Let's get right to the rates today. The rates today on the 30-year fixed is 2.88, 2.41 for the 15, 2.36 for FHA, 3.32 for jumbo, and 2.31 for 5/1 ARM. The 10-year is going at 1.129. That's the yield. And the yield is up, down. It's pretty flat in the last couple, 3 days. We don't know where we're heading. It looks like rates have settled a little, and that may be because we're not quite sure what's happening in the federal government. We did see today that there was going to be a large, maybe $2 trillion effort by the Biden administration, incoming Biden administration, for stimulus, and how that affects rates and how that affects people's pocketbooks may in fact affect you in particularly, and hopefully that if this does go through, or there are at least more motions towards getting people to stay in their home. We're looking at long-term moratorium through September on rent and mortgage evictions. So these things being what they are, couple 3 facts just to round out the segment a little bit. 34% of houses are owned free and clear right now. $190,000 is the average equity in a home. 10 million people are still not working. Renters are more affected than homeowners in the pandemic, in COVID. 5% of loans are in forbearance, and 54% of mortgages are below 4%. There was a long article that I had read. Actually, it wasn't an article, it was on Housing Wire. We take a lot of our information from Housing Wire, or we go over to Mortgage News Daily, plus other sources, obviously, that we read and experience through our daily activities at Malibu Funding. Malibu Funding is the sponsor for this show, and that's who I work for. But Sarah Wheeler interviewed a guy named Barry Habib. He talked a lot. He's an economist. He talked a lot about the relationship between debt and rates, and how economists look at particular things and danger zones, danger signs, and how that affects rates. A very interesting read. Also on Housing Wire, Henry Santos came up with the seven things that has changed in the mortgage industry forever. I'm going to list them for you now. Quick comment on all of them. Consumers can succeed as self-directed learners. What does that mean? It means that during COVID, we couldn't meet with borrowers to fill out applications and do some other individual work with them in order to fix or create paperwork. Well, consumers can figure it out on their own and actually like the control. So that's going to change. It's going to drive down costs, obviously. Paper is a no-no. Everybody knows that. It's been going around for years. But during this particular 8-9 months, we've learned to live without it. We don't want it around because it carries germs and bacteria and virus. So no more paper. That's going to stick. Everything. I've been e-signing and using DocuSign or e-sign for years. It's quite common in the real estate area. But for borrowers not to have to go to either a title company or have a mobile notary come to their house, that's a big thing, and that's here to stay. Virtual is secure. Yes, it is. Just depends on how you do it and to what extent you want to get involved in verification systems. There are a number of them. One for the VA, which is almost impossible even to get signed up for. That's how secure you can get. When they say the hackers are out there and they're breaking into your accounts, not these accounts. And for the most part, hackers get passwords from people who have passwords, and that's how they get in. Loss mitigation benefits from artificial intelligence and digital automation. Yeah, the the benefits that we're seeing on the front end in the origination are also true to the back end, i.e., people in compliance, people in loss mitigation. That means if you get foreclosed on, what happens to the property? All of this is cost savings that will obviously add to the bottom line. And scale and capacity cannot avoid being globalized. Okay, what does that mean? That means a lot of the systems that they use and a lot of the people that do the internal underwriting are going to be done overseas. It's cheaper. Other companies and businesses have been doing it for years. There are some questions as to security of those installations overseas, and we'll have to wait and see. But there have been many companies that have been doing a lot of this back-end office stuff overseas for years. Seems to have worked out well for them. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow.